human beings of Earth, welcome back to the math dimension. I'm your host, Mr. Elmer, and today we're going to be talking about multiplying polynomials. So remember all those rules we've been covering on adding and subtracting polynomials, like the fruit rule and like terms and all those specific things you have to follow? Throw them all out the window. Just kidding. They're very important, and you use them throughout your math career anytime you add or subtract polynomials. But multiplication is the Mandalorian of mathematical operations. It follows its own code. This is the way. So what are the rules? There are no rules! You can multiply anything by anything. Apples by apples, apples by oranges, oranges by kumquats, kumquats by banana berries, whatever you'd like, X's, Y's, Z's. It's like a mad scientist's dream with the type of crazy combinations you can come up with. So let's say I have this expression, and I want to multiply 5x times 3z. All we have to do is multiply the coefficients together, 5 times 3, and then the variables together, x times z. What we're left with is 15xz. To really understand what's going on here, we have to first remember two things. First, multiplication is commutative. No, not that kind of commute. Commutative means that in multiplication, we can change the order at will. The order is not important. 5 times 2 is the same thing as 2 times 5. So this allows us to rearrange multiplication however we want. Second, we need to understand that when we write things next to each other in algebra, that implies multiplication. So let's break that last problem down. 5x times 3z can be rewritten like this, remembering that there is assumed multiplication in between each number. Then we can rearrange this expression using the commutative property of multiplication, meaning the order doesn't matter. Now we simply multiply the 5 and 3 together, and we can kind of forget about those multiplication signs we put in there, because again, it's assumed that we're multiplying them. What about just leaving x and z together though? Is that okay? Well, yes, because we don't know what x and z are. There's some numbers, some unknown numbers, so we can just leave it as x times z. And if we had a number, we could fill it in, but we don't, so we won't. Not bad, right? But we still have one more wrinkle we have to iron out. When we have the same variable multiplied together, there's actually one more step we have to take. We have to add the exponents. Let's look at this example right here. We have 6xy squared times x squared y cubed. So if we rearrange this and put all the x's next to each other and all the y's next to each other, we'll end up with this expression right here. Now, grouping all the variables together is an optional step, but I think it's a good idea, especially when you're first getting used to multiplying variables. From here, I see that I have y squared times y to the third. Well, what do we do now? We need to add the exponents, and it becomes y to the fifth. Why? Well, look at it this way. Y squared means y times y. And y cubed means y times y times y. That would look a little like this. When you multiply all of these together, you'll see it's y times y times y times y times y. 5 y's multiplied by themselves. This is essentially y to the fifth. But you don't have to do all of those long steps, write them together, rearrange it. All you have to remember is that when we multiply like bases, aka y and y, x and x, we add their exponents together. So I can do the same thing with the x's, except for the first x doesn't have a visible power. So what do? Do we panic and walk away? No, we keep going. Sometimes when I get stuck in a math problem, I like to look for ghosts. If there's no power shown, that means there's an invisible or ghost one floating above that variable. So if we treat it as just x to the first, when we multiply by x squared, we'll add the two exponents and we'll get x to the third. So our final answer is 6 times x to the third, y to the fifth. Now you try. See if you can multiply these two numbers together. 4a cubed, b to the fourth, times 2a, b squared. Pause the video and give it a try, and we'll pick back up right here faster than you can say anti-disestablishmentarianism 5 times fast. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Okay, how'd you do? Did you get 8a to the fourth, b to the sixth? If so, then I just want to say congratulations.
Now they always say congratulations.
If not, don't worry about it. You'll get it next time. So key takeaways. When multiplying polynomials variables, or any kind of number, there are no rules about what variables you can multiply together. So you simply multiply the coefficients together and then the variables together. Finally, when multiplying variables, remember to add the exponents, but only when the bases are the same. Like always, I'll be putting 2 problems up at the end of this video. Go ahead and give them a try and see how you do. I'll put the answers in the description box below. Remember, On Point is just that. You totally understood the video, and the Socratic is just that much further. Give them a try, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more helpful content. Thanks for stopping by the Math Dimension, and I'll see you next time. Bye!